Africa to learn from Republic of Korea.
Certainly, our expectations towards economic partnership with you, Republic of Korea, are very high.
Government clarifies on Korea's loan. Good evening. I am Kanki Mwaigomole. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel at TBC Online and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and X pages at TBC Online. President Samia Suluhu Hassan says African countries can learn from the stunning success of the Republic of Korea, which started as an agriculture-based economy just 7 decades ago to become one of the largest economies in the world. President Samia made the remarks at the 2024 Korea-Africa Summit held in the South Korean capital, Seoul. Here are more details.
President Samia Suluhu Hassan says Tanzania's expectations towards economic partnership with the Republic of Korea are very high and that the Korea-Africa Summit will set the ground for enhanced economic cooperation and technological exchange. Speaking at the Korea-Africa Summit held in Seoul, South Korea, President Samia also insists on the importance of having a follow-up of this summit in the future in order to further deepen ties.
Certainly, our expectations towards economic partnership with you, Republic of Korea, are very high. We gathered here in Seoul with a strong belief that this summit will set the ground for enhancement or for enhanced economic cooperation and technology exchange favorable for the continent's exponential development trajectory. More importantly, it is encouraging that there will be a follow-up mechanism to this summit. We don't expect that this summit to be a one-time-off event.
Furthermore, President Samia Suluhu Hassan says Tanzania supports putting in place frameworks to promote trade, investments and engagement among the private sector actors. She says currently Tanzania is working with a Korean company in graphite mining, and she invites more partnership in exploration of critical minerals in the country.
The United Republic of Tanzania welcomes Korea's commitment and pledges towards fostering shared prosperity, and in the spirit of shared growth, we support putting in place frameworks to promote trade, investment, and engagement among our actors in private sectors. Tanzania is currently working with a Korean company in graphite mining. Moreover, we invite more partnership in exploration, extraction, and beneficiation of the critical minerals. Tanzania as well support the commitments made towards supporting Africa's sustainability agenda. Excellencies, since I'm the only woman executive president in this room, I must speak about the agenda that is important to Africa and women and African women. And this is investing in clean cooking. My country, the United Republic of Tanzania, wishes to underscore the need to enhance partnerships to advance the clean cooking agenda as part of a just energy transition.
As the only female head of state at this summit, President Samia used the opportunity to champion the clean cooking agenda for the continent, saying investing in the clean cooking agenda in Africa also presents economic opportunities in terms of development of clean cooking solutions on the continent. Faivangaga, TBC News.
In related news, the chief government spokesperson Mobare Matinyi says the $2.5 billion loan, which is equivalent to 6.7 trillion Tanzanian shillings from Korea, will be fully paid in 40 years. Speaking to journalists in Dar es Salaam, Matinyi says the loan does not have any conditions demanding exchanging of goods or resources.
The Tanzanian government has not mortgaged anything, as it has been misrepresented by some media and various discussion platforms. The loan we got from South Korea does not have any conditions that could lead to mortgage the country's resources. This is not the first time for Tanzania to receive such a loan. The first time Tanzania received a loan of $33 million, and it was in the period of the year 2014 to 2020. And the second time it was $1 billion in 2021 to 2025, whereby we have continued to receive until now. Currently, the total loan is $2.5 billion.
Matinyi adds that it is not only Tanzania that is going to benefit from the loan, saying that 59 countries are going to benefit from the loan. In other news, the Minister of Finance, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, has asked the Parliament to pass a budget estimate of his ministry for the year 2024-2025 so that it can implement 5 priorities in the coming financial year. Tabling the budget for his ministry in Parliament in Dodoma, Dr. Mwigulu says among priorities includes the collection of revenue that can be used to implement the government's budget.
In the year 2024-2025, the Ministry of Finance is estimated to collect 44.19 trillion. Also, TRA is estimated to collect 29.2 trillion grants and the affordable loans worth 5.13 trillion.
He further said the revenue will be collected from different sources, including Tanzania Revenue Authority, loans and aid. Meanwhile, the value of trade between Tanzania and Turkey has reached $300 million from $60 million in the past 14 years. The Vice President of the Tanzania Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, Abdul Mwilima, made the remarks in Dar es Salaam when opening the business-to-business B2B session between Tanzania and Turkish business persons.
Certainly, Tanzania is importing more than exporting to Turkey, but it is our duty, we as Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, to enlighten our members, to say that let us cross the borders, let us transfer technology, let us learn from others. The room is bigger for everybody. Likewise, Tanzania is a gateway to landlocked countries, Burundi, Congo, Malawi, Zambia, whatever. So let's use this gateway as a market. Tanzania population is 63 million.
On their part, the Turkish business community confirmed Tanzania being a safe place for investment.
There are
many potentials in what Tanzania has to offer as a product, but as far as bureaucracy is concerned, I'm not quite familiar with what will happen in the procedure, but we think that there will be developments, positive developments in that sense. It's a center. Tanzania is a center, geographically placed, with many other countries who are landlocked around it. So it presents a very high potential for Turkish investors to come and investigate what Tanzania has to offer.
Now, first, we are manufacturing steam boilers. These are industrial heating technology. And in any industrial, steam is very used. And that's why, as I told, in poultries, dairies, farming, agricultural sectors, steam boilers are very used.
Meanwhile, 27 companies from Turkey are attending the meeting, aiming at grasping investment opportunities in Tanzania. The Chief Executive Officer of Access Bank, Julius Raichi, says that his bank has merged with Celcom to become Celcom Microfinance Bank in order to strengthen the provision of services to entrepreneurs through the use of digital technology as a key to boost economic development of the nation. Speaking at the launch of the bank in Dar es Salaam, Raichi says they have entered into partnership with Celcom so as to provide better services to entrepreneurs and promote business through modern digital technology.
We are really very happy to have this new set of shareholders, being Celcom as the majority shareholder and the two individuals. And we really wanted to continue strike our segment of retail customers because, as you recall to the Fiscop's reports, it's less than a quarter of the population is banked. So we believe there's still a huge potential of we as a banking sector to hit this retail segment.
Some experience in the market already, and we saw it as a huge opportunity for us to have a great partnership with in increasing and utilizing the technology that we already have. We're already supporting a lot of other financial institutions in Tanzania, and we see that a lot of mass market, a lot of small businesses, a lot of retail customers will benefit significantly from the use of our technology.
The investment aims at reaching more than 200,000 entrepreneurs across the country to develop their businesses. The bank has set aside 8.9 billion Tanzanian shillings to be used as loans for entrepreneurs to develop their businesses at a low interest rate of 2.5% to 4% of the loan. Meanwhile, Tanzania Electric Supply Company Limited, TANESCO, has assured business persons in Katavi region who own factories for processing agricultural products of having reliable energy supply after TANESCO installed a new plant that makes a total of 6 plants that can produce 7.5 megawatts. TANESCO manager in Katavi region, Engineer Serafin Limo, says the new plant from Biharamulo will solve the problems of power sharing.
The consumption of electricity keeps increasing. We believe that these 6 machines will solve the challenge of electricity shortage in our region.
On her part, the Katavi Regional Commissioner, Mwanamvua Mrindoko, assures the people of electricity supply stability.
Machines has arrived and the technicians are installing the machines, and you shall get electricity supply services before 30th of June. The challenges of frequent power cuts will be solved.
And in the political arena, the African National Congress ANC party in South Africa have met to discuss plans of formulating a coalition government after it was unable to garner 50% of the votes in the recently ended election. Fortunatus Kamsofi from South Africa reports.
It's Tuesday today, and it's a very special day for the African National Congress, who are meeting today under closed door, whereby they are discussing about the coalition. The only discussion now is about who are they going together with into the parliament so as they can form a government. It started on Sunday, whereby the General Secretary of ANC, Fikile Mbalula, came out and said that they are welcoming any political party talking about the future of South Africans. And it's just reverberating, getting the waves of what President Cyril Ramaphosa said after results were announced, that this is the moment whereby the voice of South Africa has been heard, that they want to make sure that the politics put it aside. Now we talk about development, and people are now thinking of having a coalition government. ANC as a ruling party, after failing to get half of the seats into the parliament, 400 people were supposed to be into the parliament, but with only 159 parliamentarians, which means they won't be able to form their own government unless otherwise they get another affiliate or alliance part to make sure that they form the government. They're just having only 3 solutions and choices. EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters, with the Julius Malema, or MK with the Jacob Gendashekisa Zuma, with the Jabulani Kumalo, and also there is this part of BA with the Jan Silhusen. But all in all, what are they discussing? We do not know. It's under closed door. And this is a working committee of ANC. But from here, it will be the point of NECI, the National Executive Committee, to decide which party are they going together, and they are going to pronounce who are they going together into the coming generation of the 5 years after 7th democratic votes. And this is the falling of giants. One of the greatest and oldest political party in Africa has just hit the stumbling block. But President Cyril Ramaphosa said this is the point whereby all the differences should be put aside. All the focus should be into development and making sure that South Africa will come into the power again for the benefit of South Africa.
And that was Fortunato Scamsofi from South Africa. The National Institute of Transport, NIT, with the funding of African Development Bank in collaboration with Muhimbili Orthopedic Institute, MOI, and Simba Supply Chain Solutions, have agreed to provide road safety training, especially for motorcycle drivers, in order to prevent road accidents. Speaking to TBC News reporter after signing the agreement, the rector of the institute, Dr. Prosper Mgaya, says through the funding of the African Development Bank, the college will establish a special training center to provide special road safety training for drivers in East African countries.
The research will basically focus to doing research in the areas which it provides challenges to the transport sector, so as we provide some solutions. Our task basically is to establish solutions or to provide some solutions to the transport sector, so as the transport sector contributes much in the economic development of the country.
So you see, road traffic crashes, most of the injuries that we get at MOI, it is 60% are road traffic injuries, but 40% it is border injuries, and 20% are car injuries. A lot of value because this connects the stakeholders together, think together, and come out with the solutions. And most of the time will be the policy brief. The policy brief that advise the government what to do in the law enforcement, what to do on the roads, what to do on the traffic police. So that's what connects us together and makes some decisions.
According to a study conducted by MOI, 40% of road accidents in the country are caused by motorcycles through bad behavior of drivers, speeding, failure to follow road safety rules, and negligence. You're still watching TBC News. Exchange rates is up next, according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday. International news is up next. Here's the international news as compiled by Ramadhani Mpenda and read to you by Faida Ngaga.
President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda has much admired the believers and religious leaders in Uganda for embracing peace and unity in Uganda. The president, who was in the company of the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, made the remarks on Tuesday as the chief guest during the Uganda Martyrs' Day celebrations at Namugongo. President Museveni elaborates that he was happy because believers and religious leaders managed to denounce sectarianism based on religion and tribes, which caused chaos in Uganda before the coming of the NRM government in 1986. He added that Ugandans were divided according to tribes and religions, and that was part of the chaos which engulfed Uganda due to sectarianism of religion and tribes. Furthermore, President Museveni has urged believers in Uganda to work towards improving their welfare through wealth creation and tasked them to focus on ideas that will transform Uganda and Africa at large instead of spending much of their time on unconstructive things like watching football. South Africa's governing African National Congress, ANC, is faced with a tricky dilemma which will determine the future of the country after it hugely lost its parliamentary majority in last week's election. Having won only 40% of the votes, the ANC needs to find a coalition partner to secure a majority in parliament which will support its choice of president and legislative plans unless it tries to go alone with a minority government. The option would be to strike a deal with the second biggest party, the Centre-Right Democratic Alliance, DA, which won 22% of the votes. One of the big obstacles to a deal is the DA's fierce opposition to the ANC's efforts to create a welfare state, especially a government-funded national health service, which the DA rejects, saying it is too expensive and threatens the future of the private health sector. It is strongly opposed to the ANC's black economic empowerment policies, seeing them as discriminating against racial minorities while simply leading to the enrichment of the ANC's business cronies. Denying the allegations, the ANC has resolutely pursued these policies, arguing that they give black people a stake in the economy that they were excluded from during apartheid. ANC chairman Gwede Manchase has gone as far as to say the ANC's black empowerment policies are non-negotiable, suggesting that he has ruled out a coalition with the DA. But, according to some local media, President Ramaphosa is willing to enter into a coalition with the DA, believing that their policy differences would be overcome. Gunmen have killed the female mayor of a town in Mexico, Yolanda Sanchez, just hours after the country celebrated the election of Claudia Sheinbaum as the nation's first woman president. Yolanda Sanchez was shot in the town of Cotija, which she had governed since September 2021. She was the first woman to be elected to the post. Widespread violence against politicians has overshadowed Mexico's general election, which saw 2 women run for the presidency. Mexican media reported that she was shot 19 times and died in hospital shortly after the attack. Her bodyguard was also killed in the gun battle. No arrests have been made so far in connection with the attack, but it is widely thought that the gunman belonged to an organized crime group. Ms. Sanchez had reported receiving death threats after taking up office in September 2021.
And that was the international news. Sports news is up next. And in sports, the Tanzania Basketball Federation TBF President Michael Kadebe says basketball under-18 national teams are preparing to bring tough challenges in the coming East Africa Basketball Championship, which will take place in Kampala, Uganda. Kadebe added that teams are camped and training to bring new skills of the game, gearing up for the Kampala showdown.
Up to now, we have a good preparation for our teams, and we expect they are going to win. As a federation, we ensure that all girls and boys are in good health, and also we have accommodated them to ensure that they participate fully on the FIBA African Championship in Uganda, Kampala. So the tournament will be held on 9th up to 14th June.
The under-18 basketball national teams are expected to travel this week to Kampala, Uganda, to showcase their talents in East Africa Basketball Championship. And more than 5,000 athletes are expecting to participate in the Msoga Marathon, aiming at raising money to help the Msoga Hospital. The coordinator of the race, Nelson Marsharani, called upon athletes to register in numbers so as to raise money that will be used to provide services for women and children in need. At least 500 at least 500 athletes have already registered to participate in the marathon planned to take place in June the 29th in Msoga, Chalinze. And before we wind up our news briefing for tonight, let us now take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Good evening, viewers. This is Amina Saleh from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Welcome to 24 weather forecasting starting from tonight. The wind is expected to flow at the speed of 30 km per hour for the northern coast, and are expected to flow at the speed of 20 km per hour for the southern coast. And the state of the sea is expected to be slight to moderate. Over the lakes, the wind is expected to flow at the speed of 20 to 10 km per hour, and the state of the lakes are expected to be slight. And tonight, the countries are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, and the cooler condition is expected especially over the southeastern highlands, and the minimum temperature is expected to be 9 over Mbeya and Njombe regions. Tomorrow, parts of Lake Victoria Basin, which include Kagera and Mara, are expected to feature partly cloudy condition with thunderstorms over a few areas. The rest part of the country are expected to feature partly cloudy conditions. Now let's have a look on 4 days weather forecasting. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, thanks for watching and have a good night.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Kanki Mwegomole. Good night.